The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has turned down the appeal for an extension of the conduct of primaries by political parties. The chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, made this known to some representatives of political parties during an interactive forum in Abuja, saying any review will disrupt the election timetable. Yakubu urged the parties to be committed to promoting inclusion and providing equal opportunities to women, youth, and persons with disabilities to take part in the electoral process.
General Assembly of IPAC, after an exhaustive examination of the INEC timetable and related issues, arrived at an unanimous decision to request for an extension of 2 months to the deadline of the time frame for the conduct of the party primaries and resolution of conflicts arising from the primaries. By implication, the IPAC leadership is appealing to the INEC to extend the deadline for the conduct of party primaries and the resolution of ensuing conflicts from the present INEC given date of 3rd June 2022 to 9th of July 2022. Some of the issues considered by the IPAC General Assembly, which necessitated the call for extension in the time frame of the present INEC timetable and schedule of activities, are based on certain circumstances and developments that have hampered timely and strict compliance by the political parties to the timetable. Some of the constraining developments which we believe were not considered and therefore not factored by the INEC while drawing up its schedule of activities includes the following: the Christian Lenten season and the Muslim fasting in the month of Ramadan, respectively, followed by the celebrations of Easter and Eid al-Fitr Salah, in which the vast majority of party members were involved. The developments inevitably, therefore, greatly disrupted planned activities and programs of political parties, leading to the loss of about 2 weeks out of the allotted time of the timetable. It is also noteworthy that as we speak today, the same disruption has also affected economic activities in this country, that we are witnessing long queues at petrol stations. And that informs this decision why we believe, because of the implications of these disruptions, we believe that the scenario was the scenario of the Salah holidays and the Lenten period, that is the celebrations, where it was the first time that the two major events in the Christian and Muslim calendars would be occurring around the period of general elections in the country. The forthcoming gubernatorial elections in Ekiti and Osun states within the timeline of the INEC for the conduct of party primaries were additional remarkable distractions and constraints that obviously affected the political parties, because most of them are understandably preoccupied with preparations for the conduct of the elections. Very pertinently, the IPAC General Assembly regards the time allotted by INEC for the conduct of the party primaries as too short in view of the efforts required by the political parties for effective and scrupulous screening and selection of qualified and quality flag bearers. The significance of a tidy selection of party candidates in the elections comes on the long run with the benefits of minimizing conflicts with all the likelihood of slowing down the electoral process. Relatedly, while the unprecedented large number of aspirants jostling to emerge as candidates of their various political parties in the coming general elections have made the task of screening very cumbersome and demanding, the political parties have also had to be cautious and painstaking in the screening and selection procedures as a safeguard against creating rooms for disruptive incidents of litigation by aggrieved aspirants.
The Commission had cause to remind political parties of the necessity for strict compliance with the timelines for party primaries. I hereby reiterate the position of the Commission that there will be no review of the timelines. There are so many interrelated activities that are associated with the timelines which must be carried out. Any review to extend the timelines for one activity will affect other activities and put unnecessary pressure on the political parties and the Commission. This will ultimately result in more complications than what the extension seeks to achieve. Therefore, the Commission will not review the timelines. Working together, we should ensure fidelity to the timelines in conducting transparent and democratic primaries for the purpose of electing candidates for the 1,491 constituencies for which elections will be held on the 25th of February and the 11th of March 2023. In the spirit of working together to comply with the requirements of the law, the Commission has prepared a document to guide political parties in the conduct of primaries and nomination of candidates for elections, including a checklist of the documentation required for successful nomination. The guide is among the documents contained in your folders for this meeting. Similarly, the Commission has prepared a calendar of party primaries for presidential, governorship, National and State Assembly seats based on the proposals submitted by political parties as at Friday, 6 May 2022. This document is also contained in your folders for this meeting. As you conduct your primaries and nominate candidates for the election, this is the appropriate time to remind you of your commitment to promoting inclusivity in the electoral process. Women, youth, and persons with disability have been yearning for greater representation, particularly in elective positions. To assure citizens that you are not paying lip service to this commitment, political parties should encourage and facilitate greater involvement of all underrepresented segments of society as candidates for elections. This is the only way we can change the reality of the increasingly low level of representation of these critical segments of society in legislative assemblies in particular and governance of our country in general.